Hi, I'm Joshua Greenwood, I'm 25 years old, and this is my audition for the one-year acting course at the Oxford School of Drama. My first classical piece will be the role of Laertes in Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 3, and then I'll move on to my contemporary piece, which is The Oh Fuck Moment by Hannah Jane Walker, where I'll be playing the office worker. I hope you enjoy. For Hamlet and the trifling of his favour, hold it a fashion, a toy in blood, a violet in the youth of its primate nature. Forward, not permanent, sweet, but not lasting. The perfume and appliance of a minute, no more. Think it no more. For nature crescent, it does not grow alone in thews and bulk, but as a temple waxes, the inward surface of the mind and soul grows wide withal. Perhaps he may love you. And now, no soil, no cortel, does besmirch the virtue of his will. But you must fear. For his greatest weight, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. He may not, as unvalued people often do, carve for himself, for on his choice depends the health and safety of this entire state. His decision be circumscribed to the voice and the yielding of the body whereof he is the head. And then, if he says he loves you, it fits your wisdom so far to believe it, that he, in his particular act and place, may give his saying deed. It's no more than the main voice of Denmark goes withal. Then we what loss your honour may sustain, if with too credent ear you list his song, or you lose your heart, or your chaste treasure open to some massed importunity. Fear it, Ophelia. Fear it, dear sister, and keep you in the rear of your affection and out of the sight and danger of desire. The chariot maid is prodigal enough if she were to unmask her beauty to the moon. Fetcher itself skips not calumnious strokes. The canker galls the infants of the spring too oft before their buttons be disclosed. And then in the morn and the liquid dew of youth, their contagious blossoms are most imminent. Be wary then. Best safety lies in fear, and though youth itself rebels, so no more near. We used to have this office worker. Her name was Emma. She used to like to talk about horses. A lot. I mean, she used to shout the word dressage like an iceberg to the ear across the room. In the office, the open plan office where we all worked. I mean, I don't want to sound totally unreasonable, but I wasn't the only one that got annoyed by it. My friend Kat, she used to send one-word emails that just said, nay. I mean, for the most part, we just got on with it. I even bought her a Christmas card with some staples on it. That was until one day, things got bad. I mean, she used to stand next to my desk and shout the word horse into my ear every 2 to 3 seconds. So I sent an email to Kat, and in it said, if she doesn't show up to buy a horse, I'm going to blind it, cut its fucking head off and put it in the bed with her. It's just a tension reliever, you know? Anyway, I sent the email to Emma. It took me 10 seconds to realise, 2 seconds to completely shit myself, and 3 seconds to come up with this plan. So I called Kat. I said, can you get Emma away from the desk? So I walked over, ducked down next to the desk, and I could see the browsers open. So that's good. Except it isn't. Because my email's at the top and it's already been read. So things couldn't get any worse. Except they could. I turned round and there she was, Emma, at the end of a cubicle, just staring at me. Any normal person would have said sorry. Not me. What I did is I jumped at her. I mean, I physically levitated in the space between us. I wrapped my arms and legs around her and held on for dear life. Obviously I realised I had to step back. Not least so she didn't have to go home with me clinging onto her like a panicked little starfish. Step back and look at her right in the eyes. I realised I should say sorry, but I'm not quite sure what I should say sorry for first. The fact that I breached a data protection act and looked at her emails, threatened to kill her animal, or physically assault her in the workplace. Anyway, I realised there was no going back. It was too late. The only words to come out of my mouth for such a long time were, oh fuck. Needless to say, I don't work for Fox Murphys anymore. A moment in a film that really impacted me was the film Pride in 2014, a British independent film that focused on LGBT characters who in the 1980s were being oppressed. At the same time, miners in South Wales were being oppressed by the Thatcher regime and were very poor, losing their jobs and struggling to make a livelihood. So what happened was these LGBT characters fundraised for the miners, and this was really heartwarming. And initially they were rejected by the miners, they were worried about the negative press associated with LGBT people at the time. And there's a scene after a group of homophobic individuals forced the LGBT characters out of the village, where Imelda Staunton's character Hafina and Bill Nye's character Cliff are sitting in a very simplistic scene buttering bread in the village hall, and basically the characters are buttering the bread because they're so poor they can't afford to put anything else on it. And Bill Nye's character is cutting it diagonally, whereas Imelda Staunton's character is cutting it straight. And he just says, oh, I wish I would have done more to save these characters, to help them come back. And Imelda Staunton's character jumps over that and says, you're cutting the bread wrong, it's not diagonal, it's straight. And there's a pause, and Bill Nye's character says, I'm gay. And Imelda Staunton's character immediately goes, yeah, I've known since 1960, and goes back to buttering the bread. The simplicity of that scene and the one-liners and the clever writing is something that really captivated me, my flatmates, when we watched that during lockdown. I mean, our mouths were open at the time because it's something that you would not expect from this character in the film. The foreshadowing, the clever writing by the director and the actors particularly is something that captivated me, because there was a foreshadowing that he wasn't cutting the bread straight, he wasn't like anyone else, he wasn't straight, he was gay, and he'd been pretending for all these years he wasn't. And the acceptance by Imelda Staunton's character in the 1980s by a 70-year-old woman is something that is heartwarming, and I think a beacon of hope and light and inspiration for young LGBT people in the country today who are struggling to maybe come out to their parents, and it gives them a bit of hope that there is acceptance out there even in the 80s. And I think it was just so heartwarming. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you soon.